Welcome back to the Copper Lux Homes Buyer Academy. And this here is module number 4. We're going to go over the contract and the supporting documents of what you can expect as you move through the home buying process. Now, just like you learned in module number 2, the buyer presentation, that's where we kind of narrow down that whole entire valley and just show you what exact homes meet your criteria, and then we go out and shop. Well, before that, you get a binder that looks like this. And this allows me to better serve you as a client because I get to know everything about you, what you want in a home, why you want the home, what is this chapter of home buying, and what does this look like moving forward as a relationship. So just like I said, you get this binder, and inside of the binder is something that I am proud of and separates me a lot from our competition, and that's my pledge of performance. So this here is my promissory note to you as the buyer. As a buyer's agent, I am going to do these things black and white. I will never lie to you, and I will make sure that this is my promise to give you the best possible care, relationship, and professionalism that I can moving forward through the home buying process. Okay, then you get a little introduction about who I am, but of course I already covered that in module number 1, the introduction. Pre-approval, we already went over that pre-approval process, kind of what it looks like in the module number 1. And then we got into searching for homes, your upfront costs, and now comes into contracts. So when we find that house that you just absolutely love, you say, honey, stop the car. We found our house. This is where we're going to raise our kids. This is where we're going to throw the ball in the yard. This is where we're going to create our investment, our equity, whatever it is for you. This is what you are going to see when I send that over. So now, attention buyer, this is the very first page of the contract, and it simply is just a checklist for you as we go through the whole entire transaction. So you can see on the very first page, okay, this is the buyer, this is the seller, this here is the address. Now line number 10, this is what we are going to offer for that property. So for example, if it's offered at $350 and we pull up the comps and we say, yeah, it's worth every bit of $350, we want to offer $350, that's where we'll put that line. Line number 11, this here is where the earnest money goes. Again, it's all negotiations from this point on, but 1% of the purchase price is usually what we put down on the purchase contract. Line number 2, this is where your additional down payment is. So if you're going FHA, you're 3.5%. If you're going conventional, most likely you're going at 5%, and so on. You know, conventional, it could be 5, 10, 15, 20. Once you get up to the 20, then you don't have PMI insurance, and of course that's covered in another video. And then we subtract the earnest money from the full price offer, or whatever price offer we are doing, minus the additional down payment. That will give us our total finance loan amount, and then we'll write that in here. Okay, earnest money is always deposited into the escrow account of title within 48 hours, and that could be a personal check, a wire, or cashier's check, you know, whatever we agree upon. And then this here, line number 24, that's close of escrow date. That is the date that you and I are getting together. We are celebrating and we are having some fun passing out the keys. Okay. Addenda incorporated, this here again is going to be some of the supporting documents that you see moving forward. Now, on this page here, I won't get into all of the meat and potatoes of the contract. Line number 97 2H right here, you can see is it conventional, FHA, VA. This here is what we are letting the listing agent know what type of financing we're going to get. And number 3, line number 117, this here is where we're going to write in the title company. Now, I always say go with the title company that I prefer because I know how they handle it. I know that their escrow fees, I know that they're not going to overcharge our buyers. So I really fight for the title company that I prefer to use. However, some sellers, they, you know, ask us to use theirs, and if we're in a multiple offer situation, or if we're asking for unfavorable terms, I will write their title company in here just to kind of give it that middle ground. Okay, right here, lines number 55, 56, and 57, 58 right here. So refrigerator, washer, dryer, These are the things that we're going to write in. And I always see as seen on day of showing. I'll write in a serial number. I'll write in a description, stainless steel, front loaders, LG, whatever that looks like. So the listing agent and the sellers, unfortunately, sometimes switch out appliances for less attractive ones, or they want to take their things and it doesn't convey with the property, but they didn't mention that in the listing agreement. So then we go ahead and we ask, as a description for those to stay. Okay. Over here is just kind of the disclosures. SPUDs, what are those? Is seller property disclosure statement, and we'll get into those here in the next couple slides here. But down here, if it was built before 1978, we have to do a lead-based paint disclosure. You don't run into a lot of this, in the West Valley, Surprise, Peoria, North Phoenix, kind of where I specialize in. You see a lot of this more so in Central Phoenix. Sometimes, in Mesa, some of the older communities, they'll have those homes that are built before 1978. Right here, due diligence. This here is big. This is our 10-day inspection period. Now, we are automatically given 10 days. If we want to shorten that, if we want to extend that, we can right here. And that's pretty much all you need to worry about on there. This page here, is it on a sewer system? Is it on a septic system? We would know that. Swimming pool barrier regulations, we do have to give you a form. Every single city is different, so they all have their different codes about, self-closing fence, a latch on it, things like that. So you'll see that here. Okay, coming over, home warranty. I love home warranties. I use Old Republic. Shout out to Wendy Mueller. So I do always a home warranty. I never have the sellers pay for it. That's always something that I like to gift the buyers, you guys here. But if we have extra seller concessions, we will ask them to go ahead and pay for that. And then on this page here, terms of acceptance. So when we submit this purchase agreement, and it's called an offer, then we give them a certain amount of time to either accept it or counter offer us or whatever they see fit. And then that's where you would write that in here. Okay, additional terms. This here is going to be TV wall mount stay, kegerator stays, wine fridge stays, anything that you see that the sellers can potentially take and you want to keep in the cell. This is where we're going to put it here. And then lastly, this here is just the acceptance, the agency page where you're just going to write in your information. So this consists of the purchase agreement. So whenever you go to fill out a purchase contract, this is what you can expect. Okay. So additional forms, because I am associated with HomeSmart. This does cover the wire fraud and also the ABA agreements, which is affiliated business agreements. Because HomeSmart does own their own title companies, insurance companies, home warranty companies. We just have to give an ABA. So that's what you can expect. It's just a simple signature there. Real estate agency disclosure and election. This here allows me, our HomeSmart, my brokerage, and my license name, Joshua Trevelyan, to represent you as the undersigned party. So this could be the buyers or the sellers. It's going to be the same form, and of course you would have each of those boxes checked. Okay, unless you're buying a home on acreage or in some of the older parts, most likely has an HOA. This is a homeowners association addendum, and what this simply states is who the association is, what the contact number is, and if there is any transfer fees, how much the amount is due. And then on the back, this here is where we get to say, you know what, buyers, or you know what, seller, I want you to go ahead and I want you to pay for the transfer fee or the capital improvement fee. Capital improvement fees you will see in 55 plus communities. You will see in some of these communities that have clubhouses, things like that, because that's how they pay for the clubhouse. And of course, everything is negotiations at this point. So you can ask, I like to split it 50-50. That way every party wins. Okay, we have our buyer broker agreement. Again, because of the NAR situation of what's going on in today's world with all the lawsuits and things like that, we have to have a buyer broker agreement signed. And on line number nine here, the term, we can put the dates in here. So I don't tie up the rights to you. This is a simple form that states that I am going to represent you in this transaction for this given point in time or this length of time, however long it takes to find a home. This is a buyer broker. Buyer advisory. This is really big for buyers because what this does is it advises you. These are going to be important websites. These are going to be where you can look up fire districts, school districts. You can look up all the stuff that we are talking about, where it goes into sewers, wells, fire, floods, pests, roofs, square footage, things like that, flood insurance, property insurance, and then so pretty much just anything and everything that you could think of that goes into a real estate transaction, you get to keep these. So you have every single resource available to you to go out and do the due diligence on a buyer. And then so you'll just sign here. Okay, this here is called a market conditions advisory, or an MCA. Okay, market goes up, market goes down. That's real estate. Everybody knows it. Sometimes you get equity. It's going to rise, it's going to fall. So we have to sign a form stating that we understand that. Okay, but that's the supporting documents that you can expect to see throughout the real estate transaction. And it's not a lot, but of course, I like to be very transparent up front and let you know exactly what you're going to be able to see throughout this transaction. That way, when I send it over to you, 99.9% of these documents are all going to be signed via DocuSign, which is electronic signature. And then so it's very time consuming to go through and read all of this stuff. And of course, when I have you sign these, I'll do my best to spot out the key points on every single piece of document here. But again, I want you to become so familiar with the buying process that you understand exactly what you can expect moving forward. So this is the contract and all the supporting documents. All right, stay here. The next video, you're going to learn about home inspections. So we just got our offer accepted. What happens next? Well, that's a home inspection. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side.